Hello and welcome back to Hop to the Top. Hope you're all doing well today and you're ready for the Champions League first knockout round, first leg against PSG. We're at home today, so hopefully it won't be too much of a battering from PSG. But if we do manage to lose to PSG, then hopefully we can redeem ourselves against Sion in the Swiss Super League. It's been a good few days since I last spoke to you, and that's because this past weekend was a bit of a write-off for me, I've got to say. I had it free, and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to do loads of recording, loads of editing to get videos out for you next week, or this coming week, obviously. But it was a bit of a write-off because on Saturday, I ended up going to the pub and watching Six Nations all day, and any sort of alcohol just makes me so sleepy. So about 8:30 in the evening. The thing is, I was meant to be going to see my mate's gig later on that night, and I got to the gig, got there about 7 o'clock, and I sort of just like had a beer, and then I was just like, I'm so tired at this point, because alcohol just makes me so sleepy. So I didn't see any of the music, I just went home, went to bed. So 8:30, I was asleep on Saturday night. Obviously, Sunday came by, and my girlfriend had been out the night before. She was then hungover the next day and was like, I'm hungover, I'm dying, I need you to look after me. So there we go. Sunday was a bit of a write-off as well. Didn't do anything that day either. And then yesterday, Monday, I was like, well, I need to have some time to myself because this weekend I say it's been an arduous weekend. It's not. But you know what you mean? Like when you have these plans and then those plans don't happen and then it's kind of like, oh, you know, it's a bit rubbish. I wanted some time to myself on Monday. So that's why there was no video yesterday. So today, Tuesday, we are finally back making videos and hopefully beating PSG, although that's probably quite unlikely. Now, in between episodes, we have gone through the January transfer window, and we had loads of bids coming for players. Obviously, Bottles was a big target, Schneider was a big target, Kalas was a big target, Thad Davis, interestingly, the backup right back we had bids of about £10 million coming for him, and I rejected them because he's a very good player and we want to use him next season. But obviously, they were very hard to turn down. Bottles was getting angry. Schneider was actually getting a little bit angry as well, to be fair. He wanted a new contract on 70 grand a week, but we talked him out of that, which is pretty good going because I couldn't afford 70 grand a week for him. But we didn't lose anyone. That's the most important thing. But we did buy someone, and I think this is one of the best signings I've actually made on the Hop to the Top series. So if we go into the transfer history then, you can see down here, for just under £6 million, Sergio Nunez has come in from Boca Juniors, and he is a 4.5-star current ability attacking midfielder who looks very, very good. Now, this is a position that we didn't need to strengthen, but he came up on a very cheap deal, and we just thought, why not? Let's sign him up to the club, and to be fair, he is head and shoulders better than Alex Smith, unfortunately. Even Randy Schneider in that position, they're better than both in that position. If we look at the comparison, if we compare here between him and Alex Smith, for example, you can see that he's the green line, Smith is the blue line. While Smith's better in the air and defending, everything else, Nunez is a little bit better than him at. So he's an upgrade. We will still play Alex Smith, obviously, but Nunez is probably going to be the starting player from now on. Already made 5 appearances, got 2 goals and 1 player of the match, so pretty good returns already. Looking at his history as well, he can find the back of a net. He got 20 goals in 33 games this particular season, which was pretty good going. So he knows where the back of a net is, and hopefully he'll do that for us as well. So that's the transfer news. In terms of games played in between episodes, well, we are still unbeaten in the league, which is good going. Of course, you saw us draw to Rangers last time out. After that, we beat Luzerne 2-1, obviously, because then we had the draw after that, didn't we? So that was good going. Going into the winter break, we only lost 1 game. That was to St. Pauli, which, was a bit of a weird one, but it's a friendly. I didn't manage them, so I'm not really too fussed about that. The first game back after winter break, Sergio Nunez scored his first goal for the club in a 1-1 draw with Luzerne, which wasn't brilliant, but at least we didn't lose, which is good going. But since then, we haven't conceded a single goal. Pedro and Felipe Cruz scored in a 2-0 win over Lugano. Bottles and Felipe Cruz also scored in the 2-0 win over Basel. We then beat our local rivals Zurich with Bottles once again getting a goal in that game before Ross McQuaid and Sergio Nunez get goals against St. Gallen in a 2-0 victory there, which is fantastic stuff. So as you would imagine, we still haven't lost a game this season. We've had 4 draws now, but still haven't lost a game. We are top of the table by 11 points from Basel, so it's, at this point, you'd probably say we are pretty much going to winning the title this season, which is good going. 23 goals in the league from Bottles compared to 11 in second place is pretty good going, I've got to say. I'm very pleased with that one. Bottles wasn't particularly happy when I was rejecting bids from big clubs like Bayern Munich for him and things like that. So he wasn't particularly happy, but he is staying at the club for now. His happiness at the moment, he's got 2 negatives. Starting to consider whether he should be looking to move to a bigger club, and is thinking there's a lack of depth at centre-back. We've got 3 of the best centre-backs in the country, I'd say, at this stage in the league at least, so I'm a bit confused about that one, but he has got quite a few positives at least, so that's good going, but obviously you can see he's starting to want to move to a bigger club, but the bigger clubs aren't offering lots of money. I think the biggest bid we had for him was about £30 million, so until they're offering £100 million plus, we're not selling. And quite frankly, we can't sell him when we're playing against teams like PSG. It's going to be a big challenge today, but hopefully we will get past them. You will notice we are sticking with the very attacking style. I think we've got to try that at home, at least for the first half hour or so, and see what happens. We used the formation against Man City in the Super Cup, of course, and we beat them 3-1. So that's kind of my thinking on this one. Class is in goal as per usual with this backline of Guardado, McQuaid, Bunce and Cruz. Schneider and Pedro in that central midfield with Alvarado and Capitano on the wings because Billy Schmitz is currently injured. Nunes comes into that attacking midfield position. That's the first time you're going to get to see him to play today. And of course, the boy Bottles up front with 35 goals in all competitions this season. So he's on to 50 this season, I'm pretty sure. I won't lie to you, this PSG side looks a bit weaker to me than a team that we've played in the past. An ageing side. I mean, they've got Christian Eriksen on the wing. I wouldn't say he's really a winger at all, but they've got him on the wing at least. He's 35 years old now. They've got Marquinhos at the back still, who's 32 years old. Andy Robertson, who's 32 years old. Dembele must be, he's 29 in this game. So, I mean, they've still got a good team, but I'd say that's an ageing side, obviously, apart from these regens and things like that. I don't think that's the strongest PSG side there could be. So, perhaps we do have a chance here today. I don't know. The first highlight of the game is coming up as Felipe Cruz puts it in towards Capitano. He puts it back to Felipe Cruz, who's can put it into the middle. There was a player open in the middle, but we didn't quite get it there. Instead, Arthur comes up the pitch instead, gets it out to Christian Eriksen, who loses it to Nunes, who keeps possession, makes his way down that right-hand side of the pitch. Can he put the cross into middle? He gets out to Capitano, out to Felipe Cruz, who can put the ball into Alvarado, who puts it in the back of the net. And 3 minutes into today's game, we're 1-0 up against the side that knocked us out of the Champions League first knockout round. Was it 3 or 4 seasons ago now? So, can we finally get revenge on that? We're pretty good going. It was a great work goal, to be fair, and Alvarado heading that into the bottom corner there. Beautiful stuff. Of course, if we get through this round and into the quarterfinals of a Champions League, it'll be the furthest we've ever made it in the Champions League, which is fantastic stuff. Of course, we won the Europa League last season, so it's obviously not quite the furthest we've got in European competitions because we've won a competition. So I feel like that's the furthest we've ever got in a competition. Once we get to a Champions League final, perhaps that might eclipse getting to a Europa League final and winning that sort of thing. But I think that's a little bit way off yet. Although the way we're playing so far against PSG, and the way we played against Man City earlier on in the season when we beat them in the Super Cup, we could still get there, you know. Obviously, it would take a lot of hard work and effort and things like that, but I'm not writing this team off. You know, now we're here and we've won a Super Cup and things like that against the team that won the Champions League last season. I feel like we could beat anyone on our day. So you just saw the highlight before this where the keeper saved it, put it out for a corner, and I stopped talking thinking that was that. But no, the corner came in, gets cleared out to Capitano. Capitano putting it back into the middle across to Randy Schneider, who's open, shoots. 7 minutes into today's game, we are now 2-0 up against PSG. I did not expect that to be happening. I didn't expect that second goal to happen, let alone the first goal. So, this is a performance so far against PSG. Now, if we can just not concede to them, that would be spectacular. That's a huge save from Class there as well. This is a fantastic performance already. Alvarado on the ball and putting it in towards Randy Schneider. Can we grab a third goal? Oh my gosh, we've hit the post there or the woodwork or something there and it bounces clear, but we are in absolute control of this game against PSG right now. And I would have put money on PSG beating us 5 or 6-0 on aggregate. So, you know, I'm very, very pleased with how we're performing so far, 26 minutes into today's game. Schneider up towards Capitano, who can get past his defender. Capitano into the middle. Bottles is there. He's bottled it in the end, I suppose, hitting the post. But we've hit the woodwork twice now. I mean, PSG have apparently as well, which I haven't seen. But, okay, they're getting close as well, perhaps. Perhaps I'm being a little bit unfair as they put the ball over the bar. But I am astounded by how well we have played in this opening half today. So, half-time, 2-0 up, fantastic stuff, but we have to remember we are only a quarter of a way through a tie. Of course, we've got the second half and then the second leg in Paris to go. So let's not try and get too carried away, but in my head, I am thinking we're already qualified to the next stage. I am buzzing off this one. Felipe Cruz into the middle then as Pedro gets it back to him. Back to Pedro. Pedro into Bottles. Bottles is shot, saved by the keeper. Nunes on the ball. Pedro shoots. Oh, it's blocked in. Is that Fraser Hornby playing for... It can't be Fraser Hornby. D Hornby, it's a regen. Okay, it's fine. Free kick for PSG though, and I think it wasn't Hornby getting on the end of that. It was someone else getting on the end of it. But either way, Class makes a good save, but the highlight does continue as Haroldinho Bunce tries to play out from the back, puts it onto Dembele's head, but he just plays it back to our players instead, so we can start to bring it out from the back. As that was a nice bit of 1-2 work there to try and draw the defenders away. Now we've got plenty of space on this right-hand side. Capitano back to Cruz, who loses. That was a poor pass, to be fair, from Capitano. Can he win the ball back? No, but Nunes can, into Bottles. Bottles on the edge of the area, shoots, saved by the keeper. No! I've just... This is some issue going on with my microphone. Why is it so loud? I'm going to have to try manually turn this down loads. Has that helped at all? Because this is the thing. I was about to be like, no, I can't put this out because the audio will be terrible. It probably is terrible, but I've turned it down now. So that's a little bit more better for your ears, perhaps. I don't quite understand what's going on with my microphone and why it seems to be just going a bit mental with the levels and things like that. But it's something we've got to deal with. So apologies for these first half of the video probably being absolutely terrible audio. I'll probably put a disclaimer on the top of the video at the start of the video saying, sorry for terrible audio for the first 10 minutes, but it does sort itself out. Right, substitutes. 15 minutes ago, substitutes do need to be made. We'll bring Sterigu on for Bunce just to have a fresh face at the back to try and keep things a little bit steady. Schneider's looking tired, so we'll bring on Xavi Simons for him. Obviously, he's on loan from PSG, so this is a big game for Xavi Simons. Let's let him have a little go against his actual teammates. So only a couple of minutes left to go in today's game before we have a famous 2-0 victory over PSG, as long as we don't concede. As Ross McQuaid gets it up towards Marquinhos in the end, as Hornby brings it back to Ndombele. Marquinhos, please don't concede now. Let's not give away an away goal so late on in today's game, as PSG looking to bring it forward. Back out towards Hornby, who can put a good cross in the area onto the head of their striker, who puts it just wide of the post. To be fair, PSG have actually come back into this game massively in the second half, having more shots than us and more possession, loads more possession, but they didn't switch on the first half. The first half, they were terrible, and that's where we capitalised, and we seem to have defended quite well in this second half, as there's 30 seconds or so to go, as Haaland on the ball there. Is literally as in, they've got Haaland on the pitch, and they still can't score goals past us, as... Okay, they finally do grab one at the very end of the game. That is a consolation goal. And it has been given. I thought the assistant referee might have given it for offside, but they haven't. So PSG have grabbed one away goal right at the end here. Now, the referee should be blowing his whistle right now, but there's a highlight going on, which does concern me a little bit. As Alvarado, can he just get out to Simons? Simons out to Guardado. If we can grab a third goal here, that'd be fantastic. I don't think we're going to, though, as Ndombele on the ball. No, don't do this to me. Whew. That was close. That was far too close for comfort. I think then we've won this game 2-1. Unless his corner goes horribly wrong, though. Kalas collects it. And surely the referee should be blowing his whistle right about now as he gets it out to Sterigu. Lads, oh my God, that was close. We've won it 2-1. That's fantastic stuff. The issue is we did give away an away goal right at the end. So we're going to have to be at our very best in the second leg in tomorrow's episode. Oh, it's so annoying about what the issue is with you, my microphone. I don't quite understand what's going on. It just seems to clash. Because obviously last episode it went mental at the end for whatever reason. So obviously after I did the editing for that, I came back onto here and sort of fixed it. Well, I thought I fixed it at least. So I was very happy to just go record again because I knew I'd fix the problem. But clearly there's some sort of issue where it just thinks it can go mental. I don't know what's going on, basically. Either way, to calm down from that big win over PSG, we've got a Swiss Super League game against Sion. Actually, this is the first Super League game that we've had on camera this season because of illnesses and wanted to focus on the Champions League instead. I know you guys aren't the most interested in the league at the moment because we are dominating things. So it's not the most interesting content for you guys to watch, I know. But I thought we should have at least a couple Super League games this season, and here we go, here's one of them. So we do need to make some changes. Randa Schneider is suspended, so he can come off for Soares, who can come on the pitch and swap with Pedro. I think they're better suited for those positions. Felipe Cruz looking tired, so Thad Davis can get himself on the pitch. We'll take, obviously, Schneider off the bench as well for... it doesn't really matter who, to be fair. Let's give Alex Smith a run out instead of Nunes as well. Let's try and keep rotation around with those players, of course. Let's give Sterigu a proper run out as well. Other than that, though, I'm not really too fussed about making any more changes. Because, of course, we do want to win the game. We are in a position where we could be the Invincibles in the league. So I want to try and keep that momentum going and not make too many changes. So there's the lineup for you. Let's submit that team and get going. So kickoff is upon us here today for a bit of a calmer affair in the Swiss Super League. It's first versus 10th, first versus bottom. It should be a routine win here today. But as you've seen, in previous episodes, Sion are a bit of a bogey team for us. We do seem to slip up against them. We have slipped up against them a couple of occasions. So hopefully we won't do that today as Alvarado loses possession but does win it back straight away, which is good as he looks to put the ball into Ross McQuaid. Ross McQuaid out towards Capitano. Capitano who's got loads of space out to Thad Davis. Thad Davis who had £10 million bids come in from over January. Couldn't really do much magic with that one as Bottles arguably should have just buried that but put it over the bar somehow. Capitano on the ball once again, then playing it back out towards Thad Davis, who does very well at getting forward, and that was a great cross that time, just missing out its intended target there, as Guardado with a chance to do it on the other side, ends up winning a penalty instead. It's going to VAR, so we'll see what happens, but usually this seems to happen, it just gives you the penalty anyway. I've not really seen many penalty decisions overturned. They had the odd one, but more often than not, you get given the penalty, I found, at least from this kind of thing. This time, though, the referee is making his decision. He's come back on the pitch and he's going to say penalty, as we expected. Bottles is the man to take it because Randy Schneider's not on the pitch. So Bottles, get your first goal of today's episode. He buries it. Fantastic effort. Highlight straight from the kickoff though. So is there going to be another goal out there for someone as Sion look to come forward and reply immediately, although they have given the ball away, and Alvarado, who's been very good on this left-hand side so far this season. Of course, Jerome Bernard actually left in January to go to Sheffield United for £25 million. So thank you, Jerome Bernard, for your contributions, but £25 million was far too good to turn down. We couldn't turn it down as Bottles gets his 37th goal of the season. We couldn't turn down £25 million when we had a fantastic player waiting to come into the club for, was it £6 million? So we made a lot of money off that kind of transaction. So, and that's what we have to keep doing, I suppose. We have to keep selling some players on for money to keep buying better players, essentially. And that was a great goal. It was a great assist from Alex Smith, but a great finish from Bottles as well to get his second of the game. We're 2-0 up against Sion. Again, as long as we don't concede late goals, we should be fine in this game too. But Sion have other ideas. If they get the ball out wide, can they get the ball into the middle though? They kind of, but they just can't get it into the box, which is where they need to be. Our defence is very well drilled there at keeping that high line as well, which is good. I'm not sure if we have high line turned on, but they're playing quite a high line, I would say, right now. Because if we've got someone pacey, they can easily get a ball over the top there in that very short space of field, whatever I'm trying to say. But they're coming into the area now, Sion. Number 20 on the ball for them. Can he get the cross in? No, not really. But they do manage to get the shot away and it hits the post and bounces clear. So Sion, obviously, knocked down and out of it after conceding 2 goals. And once again, they're looking to come forward, our bogey side, Sion. I can imagine them scoring a couple of goals towards the end of today's game because that's what they seem to do against us normally, as they nearly do it again. That's twice they've hit the post there in quick succession. Free kick for them now. What is going on? Sion are all over us all of a sudden. They've only had 2 shots and both of them have hit the woodwork, but they've come close to those 2 shots. We have 1 possession back. Bottles has been put forward and Bottles is clinical. He's got his first half hat-trick within 33 minutes, up to 38 goals this season in all competitions. What a striker he is. What a player he is. I would go as far to say that I think Bottles is one of my favourite regens from any Football Manager games. Like, I just think he's class. I think he's such a good striker. He's up there with some of the best strikers I've ever had. And he's nearly grabbed a 4th goal there, attacking the keeper. Smith can't get the ball into the middle. Good reply and defence there from Sion. But the keeper should be doing better than that. So far, this second half, though, has been boring. Nothing's happening in this second half at all. So Patrick Hartman, come on for Bottles, have a go out there. Tim Wright, come on for Alvarado. And then I also want to get Rui Simmons. I don't think we've really seen much of Rui Simmons at all, if anything. But he is a regen of ours from a long time ago. But he was just never any good. Like, he's got rubbish potential, so no one ever claimed him. But he seems to always be kicking around. He's never actually left the club for whatever reason. I don't know why I've always kept hold of him, because I shouldn't have done. I should have let him go. But he's going to come on the pitch now, at least, to maybe show you why you should rename him if you're on the Patreon, although I wouldn't really recommend it, because I don't think he's going to play much at all, unfortunately. But Rui Simmons coming on to have a little go. But before that, Sion are looking to come forward, although Ross McQuaid gets the ball cleared up towards their right back or left back. Back to the keeper in the end. Can Bottles make a tackle? He can't make a tackle as the ball looks to come back forward again. Are Sion finally going to grab a goal in today's game? Well, their number 16's been put forward. He shoots, but Kalas makes a good save. Come on then. I want to see Patrick Hartman and Tim Wright combine to score a couple goals at the end of today's game. It's been a long time since we've seen either of those players score, actually, so it'll be good to see them score. But as the clock ticks down with only 5 minutes to go, the second half really is boring. Only that one highlight in it, and that was not really much at all. As the clock ticks down, we've won the game 3-0, a hat-trick from Bottles. Brilliant stuff there. You love to see it. 25 games into the season, won 21, drawn 4, lost 0. It is fantastic, I've got to say. If we go to the overview and we go back, not last season, but the season before that, we got 96 points from 31 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. So actually, I don't think we can get 100 points this season, can we? Because we've drawn 4. We can only pick up an extra 3 points, can't we, from that? Yeah, we could get 100 points then, couldn't we? We could get 100 points because we can get an extra win. I'm not entirely sure. But I think there is potential for us to be beating our points record. But of course, I think we have to win every single game for the rest of the season now. No more draws, no more losses, anything like that. So we've got to keep going. Already on 67 points. Only scored 54 goals, though, this season, compared to the 104 we scored in that particular season. But we conceded 31 that season. This season, we've conceded only 9 in the league, which is pretty good going. If we can keep that under 20 for the whole season, that would be absolutely insane. So no prizes for guessing who is going to be in the next episode. Of course, it is PSG once again, and then we'll do the Luzern game after that one as well, which should be quite exciting. So join me tomorrow for that one. Thank you ever so much for watching today's video. I do apologise for the audio issues that have probably plagued the video throughout. I'm sorry, basically. I'll try and sort it out. I thought I had sorted it out, but who knows what's going on with computers? Like, they just have a mind of their own sometimes, don't they? I'm sure you can sympathise with that. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Hop to the Top. Have a great evening. Goodbye.